Hi, Mark from Sharkbait here. Today we're going to look over the new Truth Reels. I'll give you a little background. Truth is the new name for what was known as release reels. At ICAST 2015, the owner of the firm announced a name change. This was necessary because there was another firm in the marine hardware industry. I think they made fighting chairs named Release, and they took issue with the name of Release Reels. The owner of the firm had an option of going ahead and feeding the attorneys and fighting that challenge to their name, or taking a step backwards, looking out and saying, well, what shall we call our firm? Who are we? What are we? And they decided, that, truth is what they be. And so they did a name change, and they, it's a little different in the world of fishing products to name your line Truth, but in a way it makes a lot of sense. This is an American-owned firm. Everything is 100% made here. Their manufacturing has, the company really has gone through some changes since I first encountered them probably 5-6 years ago. This is September 2015. That ICAST announcement was done in July. They are known now as Truth, and they feel that represents who they are, because they do operate differently. They're the only firm out there with a lifetime warranty of their product. I don't know how long that will continue, because frankly, they don't need to have that liability going forward. As a new kid on the block, great idea to extend the warranty, because that eliminates some source of buyer concern. But the reality is, they make a good piece of gear, and it'll hold up. So let me talk a little bit about this new stuff and get off the company profile. Okay, the reels now come in your basic burlap bag, with the logo, of course, proudly displayed on the front, 100% Truth. That's who they be. There are, let's see here, 4 different models from the firm these days. They've expanded, what they're doing, but I think more importantly than expanding, it's real obvious that they have improved. They've matured as a company, and they've addressed those issues that we initially saw a few years back, and they addressed them very, very well. Initially, the reels only used a bearing for the anti-reverse system, and we had a concern about that. We mentioned it back to the factory, and within probably 2 to 3 weeks, they incorporated a change where they use a dog system as well as the anti-reverse bearing. That's a good thing. It's good to be redundant in something so critical on a reel. Also, in the past, probably as a result of them being pretty proud of their grease, the bearings that they used were higher quality, but we didn't see that initially in terms of the way the reel spun. Boy, with the new production, they spin like stinking tops. Probably the best free spool I've seen in a reel in recent years. Very, very nice. Both in the lever drags and in the stars. The star drag reels are the newer ones for them. And unfortunately, I'd planned to do this video when we had our inventory ramped back up, and the inventory came in when I was out on a charter. Tough life. I've had to go on 2 long-range charters this month in September. I had a 5-day on the Rooster and a 6-day on the Royal Polaris I just got back from, so I've got a little more color in the face than usual. But back to the reels. There is another point that they addressed, and we saw that first on the LG or the large game reel, and now on the small game or the SG series. The reels incorporate a strike position. Before it was simply the arc of the lever, and you'd have to pick a point that would be your reference point for setting your drag appropriately. Now the reels do have more traditional strike position. It has a little lockdown on it. Push the button, you can extend that lever the rest of the way. But let me go over the reels a little bit and show you what we're talking about. And to back up a half step and finish what my train of thought was, that's a little bit scattered this morning after 4 or 5 cups of coffee. I don't have one of the models here, and I don't have the surf model. Apparently the guy sold what we had in inventory, and I didn't order any more of those because we had plenty on the last go round. And so I can't show you that, but I'll show you the new Star that's very similar to the surf model. And sadly, you can kick me later, but I'll stick in pictures of the surf because it's a neat piece and very unique in the industry. All right, here we have the different models from what was known as Release, which now will forever be known as Truth reels. These are the two small game reels in front. Basically two different color combinations. That's a change. Simplifies life greatly for a retailer such as myself. They do have a new name prominently pictured on the side of the reel. So it is Truth, SG for small game. That's what this piece is. The small game, actually there are three different color variants. There's another one that uses the Gunsmoke or gunmetal color and silver. Definitely not as pretty as the Gunsmoke in red and Gunsmoke in blue. The handles have changed. Now they are a metal ball, which is very comfortable to fish. That ergonomic handle is available as an option. I believe their cost is around $50. So if you want that, they will supply it to you as an option, as an add-on. That's a separate sale. The reels all come with a ball handle, as we can see. The LGs as well. So this is the LG, our large game lever drag, and that's the SG. You can see the relative difference in terms of size. The SGs go in first, give you 34 inches of line retrieve per crank. The gear ratio is 6:1. They weigh 13.2 ounces, so they are very, very light. Topless, easy to get into and deal with the spool. Apply a little thumb pressure as needed. They all come with a reel clamp. Every reel within their series uses a reel clamp, except for, I believe, the surf model. I'll have to double check that for you. Line capacity, call it 275 of 20-pound mono. You're looking at pretty darn close to 400 yards. Let's say 375 of 50-pound braid. I'm going to say that's a very nominal figure because all diameters are not the same. It could range probably from 300 to 400 yards depending upon if it's a 4-strand or an 8-strand or which manufacturer, how conservatively they measure the braid. But ballpark, you got darn close to 300 yards of 20-pound mono capability. And in terms of the braid spooling, call it 300 yards of 50-pound braid is going to fit on here. You may be able to get more on. If you drop down to 40, you're going to bump that up and have room for a bit of a top shot. Free spool performance is excellent. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. I mentioned that the reels now have a strike position. So lever goes up, there's the stop, push that button down, depress it, and now we can go up to full on the piece. The reels produce a lot of drag. You've got better than 18 pounds with full free spool performance, and they'll button down at full at 25 pounds. Definitely more than ample drag capability for a reel of this size. Very comfortable fishing these pieces. 20, 30, 40 pound being most common. Some guys will go ahead and fish in straight braid and fish them at 50. I like the piece more at 30 and 40. Very appropriate for that. Noting it's a pretty quick gear ratio, great for winding a jig. Now, little background on the company too. Initially, they looked at these as pieces the guys are going to use off Virginia coast. So, there'd be some, private boat, light trolling duty, as well as some jigging. That long distance casting stuff wasn't as key to them as it is to us on the West Coast and to other anglers who also do a lot of casting. That area of performance improved greatly on these reels. A lot of the upgrades we see on the Truth reels are logical extensions of a company that was new and is learning as they go and developing their product. So again, the two cosmetics, blue or red, and Gunsmoke. And we can get the silvers for you, but I'm not going to really inventory those as much. I don't think they look nearly as stunning as these guys do. Wonderful size. The LGs, build things up a little bit. These guys are 20 ounces in terms of weight. Most guys are going to put heavier line on them, probably 80-pound down. I like them as a 50-pound piece, similar to an Abbott LX in terms of relative size. They'll put out 23 pounds of drag at strike and button down at 35 pounds at full. So, ton of drag. Ceramic bearings, the spool side on both these guys. These are high quality Abbott 5 bearings, or better, that are used. But the bearings are of higher quality than we see from most of the reels that are produced here in this country and also are imported. They have the Abbott 5, name dialed in pretty well, and they even go to 6s and I believe 7s, and we'll get into on some of the other models. 52 inches of line retrieve per crank versus 34 inches here, so it's 6-to-1. Dandy piece for the guys that are doing sailfish and kings. There's another version of this that's available, a little softer on the drag curve, and again, that sort of speed, it's dandy for a fast moving fish. Good cranking power out of them. And then the newest piece from this guy, from Truth, is based on the surf model, which I'm not showing you, unfortunately, because we sold out. And this is a star drag, as you can tell, big star, and a ridiculously open spool. Easy to get in here and thumb and deal with. The only difference between this piece and the surf is, well, one, color. Two, there is an adjustable cast control on the surf. The surf models are black. You have an adjustable surf cast control that's mechanical, not magnetic, and that works flawlessly on that piece. And that's really the differences. And for that, you're saving probably $50. I think we go about $250 for the SG. Call it $4 for the LG. And then we're about, I think it's $350 and $400 for the 2 star drag models. Again, great free spool performance. The weight on the small star is 16.8 ounces, 6-to-1 gearing, again, 38 inches per crank, a max of 24 pounds of drag. Same line capacity really as the SG. You can see spool size about the same. Really, probably you're using maybe not the same part, but very, very similar. Cut a little bit differently on the spool on the star. It's a 5-stack, or excuse me, a 4-stack carbon fiber drag washer system on the star. Abbott 5 ceramic spool bearing used on the piece, and spins like a top. Now the one I'm not showing you is the Surf, or the SM. The Surf, again, same sort of weight, 16.2 ounces, 6-to-1 gearing, same line capacity as we've talked about, but on the Surf they bump up to the Abbott 7s. So they spin even better. But we'll take a look and see how this little puppy spins here in just a moment. Because boy, pretty good stuff. But I'll get a close-up and show you here how these things spin. Okay, one point I'll mention to you, on all of these reels from Truth, what we've noticed is free spool performance increases dramatically with use. They're pretty proud of the grease that they use and the bearings. They are lubricated. That doesn't arrive to you dry. And that free spool performance, I've seen from the guys we've talked to, improves with use. What we have noticed is their reels coming out of the factory are spinning better and better and better straight from the factory. So I'm not sure if they're doing something different in that respect, but they are great casting reels, and how could they not be with the quality of bearings that they use? But I put a little price tag on this little red SG, and you can see it's not a hard spin, but she does spin rather nicely. That ain't too bad at all. And okay, spinning a star. That's the small star SS. Now let's see how much time we have to deal with on this one. That's pretty good spinning, guys. And again, nothing tweaked on this reel. Nothing's been opened up. It's just fresh out of the box. And let's see, there she goes. That's a good spin. If your casts are not, 50 yards or better, don't blame these guys. Just get out in the backyard or nearby school and start practicing your casting. They'll achieve a good cast. And very unique frame design. As you can tell, a lot of clearance there on that little puppy. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. So, these are the new Truth reels. Sorry I can't show you the surf model. It's pretty darn trick too. Just have a hard time keeping this stuff in stock. These are a small company, so it's not like a more commercial venture where a bigger time company where if you run out of something you can get it the next day. Demand is far greater than supply on the release reels, as one would imagine. So if we're out, we always have more coming. But demand is greater than supply, and these are not a mass-produced item. They're all made here in America. Quality is superb. Love the way they do things. As far as the frame, you can see how the frame is actually bowed out in the center, which it doesn't restrict the line. If you do happen to screw up and not level the line out properly and you bunch it up in the middle, not a big deal. You'll be able to survive it. It helps with that extended line capacity. The way they cut the spools, very, very nicely done. There's really no wasted space there on the arbor, very thin. So they're able to fish heavier line on a smaller reel, which is what we all enjoy doing these days. And we can thank Accurate and Avid for what they've done. And this is just a very nice extension of the state of the art, in my opinion. Nice pieces and well worth the money. Thanks for watching the video. Again, thank you much for watching the video. That's not necessarily a strength of mine personally. You got to love the widgets, and in the world of fishing tackle, things continue to improve. For ICAST, we had a number of other new items to show off. I haven't been doing the videos so much through the summertime. Now we're getting into fall and long range season, and we'll have a little more time to get some of the new gear posted. Plenty of new stuff to bring to your attention, but certainly first and foremost from the ICAST show was the new Truth reels, and showing what these folks have accomplished over the last 2-3 years that we've been associated with them. Though I did watch this firm develop and visit them at their booth over the last probably 6 years or so that they've been in existence and in development of their product line. Good stuff. Nice to see another American-owned firm producing products here, creating jobs here, and trying to extend the state of the art. Thank you for watching. Mark from Shark Bait checking out. Bye-bye.